This is Pete Delatorre, and welcome to BlockChain Talk. We are in season number 2, and today is session number 5. This series is sponsored and brought to you by Crowdpoint Technologies. Today, our guest is Lars A. Rottweiler. He is a CTO and co-founder of Mbank, one of the most influential digital banking companies in the world. Lars has over 27 years experience in digital banking, crypto banking, and blockchain technology. You're going to find it extremely fascinating when you hear the things that he's going to share with us. So let's sit back and watch that conversation. Okay, everybody, my guest, as I mentioned to you, Lars A. Rottweiler. How are you, buddy?
Very good, Pete. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, and thank you for being another global guest of BlockChain Talk, all the way from your homeland in Germany. We truly appreciate you taking time. So many exciting things are going on with Embank, blockchain, everything. It's just so much. We're not going to have enough time to talk about all of that, but we want to make sure that we enlighten our viewers and listeners with real-time, valuable information on today's talk. Before we move forward, can you take a quick moment to tell us a little bit about yourself and really what Embank is all about?
Okay, quick feedback to myself. I was many years in consulting, had senior executive roles at PwC and Accenture, moved on to Deutsche Bank, been managing director there for a couple of years, and been total something around 20-25 years in the banking area of consulting. And as at Deutsche Bank, I realized that there are way too many bank computer systems running around and too many interfaces, databases. So you couldn't trust the data you could find in your own environment, right? Because every department looking different figures. So we had the idea with Embank to start something which changes the world, which how banks should operate, and gives not only trustful data, but also a lot of technology, which is, let's say, more post-internet than pre-internet, because being honest, most banks are running on IT infrastructures far pre-internet, right? And when we started Mbanq, we had the idea to build an environment which is capable to run any kind of bank, which is a fundamental bank, which is kind of a big bank, a strong bank, a private bank, a retail bank, a high net worth bank, a bank for the underbanked. And obviously 5 years back, we more and more heard about this topic. We should have also crypto capabilities, which necessarily brings you towards blockchain, right? And links you into the technology which we are talking about today. So it started with crypto, but being honest, now blockchain is much more powerful and many more things happening around there. And yeah, that's what we're doing here. And it's a very exciting time. Every day something new, still today. And we really think we're top of the game and try to stay there.
I think what we just said is probably an understatement. Things are happening before our very eyes, and it's happening very fast, and it's very exciting. It's almost like we're trying to play catch up, because things are moving and it just doesn't stay still, which is, for me, one of the most amazing aspects of the whole blockchain, is that it is built to continually grow. And you're never going to get there. You're always going to get to a platform, and then it's time to go to the next step, and the next one, and the next one. We're hearing so much about fintech, and Mbank is a very influential fintech company, Silicon Valley. We know all about that. For the purpose and really to enlighten our viewers and listeners, what is fintech?
Well, fintech, finance technology, means is the verb around it. But being honest, some traditional incumbent solutions call themselves fintech. I would define it like the way it's a finance technology which looks into the next generation of how any kind of financial services is running and operating. There's not only banks, that's not only credit unions, there might be insurance involved, there might be any supplying ecosystem products around retail solutions, how you pay for your things, how you interchange and trade any kind of value, right? And interchanging value means, we all know where the money comes from. I mean, there was years before they needed any kind of trading system. Instead of you give me brooms, I give you corn. They needed the next level, right? And then they brought the gold coins. The gold coins been too heavy to carry around, so they came up with the paper and put the gold coins in the vault. And they said, okay, this is a trust fund of America. This is backed off in Fort Knox the gold piles, and for this amount of gold we owe, we print in paper. But we all know what it led to. It led to the point we are today, that they don't fill up the Fort Knox anymore with the gold bars. Instead, they put a little sticker inside, say, this next money we print is the value of then that money, value of gold, right? So it means it changes really towards, where's the trust of money today? Where's the exchangeable note today? And fintech plays a big role in there, because I think that's the only way how we can tackle it, right? All over the world, the inflation goes up like crazy through the roof. And if you want to tackle this, you need some other trustful, valuable media, which is able to, that I pay you and you pay I receive some service for it, right? So yeah, will it be the crypto? I don't know. Will it be the crypto we know today? But I'm sure it will not be the currency we have all today in our pockets. It must be something else which is coming up very soon. And we are in the middle of this evolution and progress, right? And fintech is the underlying technology for it.
That technology, and we're looking at everything and anything in terms of digital transactions.
Exactly.
And I know that your work, you actually support the banking industry. You have banks in the States and around the world that you provide this technology platform to them. And again, from my understanding is from day one, when Mbanq was created under the blockchain platform, correct?
Yes, it's kind of, as I said in the beginning, we know that there's something new around the corner, and obviously we wanted to serve the classical business, but also we understand the advantage of the new technology, right? So, and might it be the payment rails, which not only using SWIFT and ACH or SEPA, but also use the now blockchain connectivity, crypto exchange platform connectivities, and so on. And on top of it, obviously, you have a lot of support solutions, right? So if you have transactional flows on a transactional banking process, then you can put those documents nowadays inside the blockchain, right? You can follow up what's happening with this money flow. Another system we had a client which is in the pharma business. These are running those little vans that are going from pharmacy to pharmacy and delivering the medication in real time. Obviously, a perfect process which can be then transported to the blockchain, while the banking solution is kind of carrying all steps when the car is passing to watch pharmacy, and then directly from the bank platform on the blockchain we can transfer the money to the pharma company, to the transporting company, and so on, right? So that happens in real time while the delivery car is out. So there are phenomenal things possible, and it's much more than the cryptocurrency when we think about blockchain.
Absolutely. I mean, the more you look at it, the more it's so diverse, and it's the conversation we're having today. In 3 months, it's going to be advanced that many times over. So it's insane what is going on here. So you've been in digital banking for what, 27, 28 years, give or take.
Something like this, yeah.
Yeah, give or take, but who's counting, right? How has the blockchain changed digital banking?
I think it's ahead of changing, being honest, because I think traditional banks, which is still a majority of banking transactions in the world, right, is still ruling how things are moving here, right? But we see now that there are transactions and money flows utilizing blockchain technology, which are in the trillions every day, right? Mm-hmm. So we are undermining a little bit the classical SWIFT SEPA payment gateways, and well, jurisdiction make it easy because it's not money which you move from one place to the other one. It's kind of a digital asset, or isn't, if it isn't at all an asset. Some countries even accept that a crypto coin is an asset, right? So I think we're ahead of this move. I think I know that every bank in the world right now thinks about blockchain technology. Might be more for the transactional banking and those papers I just mentioned, but I'm see also that many of them are getting prepared to put cryptocurrencies underneath, right? And there are a couple of jurisdictions ahead of bringing on now their own digital currency as a main currency. We talk about the e-krona in Sweden or the Bahamian dollar which is the e-dollar. So there are a couple of jurisdictions really thinking around this, and I'm sure in 5 years from now, it's all over the world present, and every bank needs to drive this.
Lars, I'm thinking now as you're talking about the exchange system globally. You know, every country has a different currency. It's, you know, the value is different. Do you see, or are you seeing that blockchain is possibly leveling or equalizing this whole issue of currency, or is that going to continue even on the blockchain?
Well, we're working on that every day, even in Embank, right? Since 4 years, we're running a Rottweiler joint venture together at IBM, where we try to tackle the classical payment flows with utilizing a stellar coin as a stable coin, as a vehicle, and operating obviously on the blockchain, right? So yes, for sure. I mean, there is a move coming like this, and even Swift itself is now on the digital Swift, very heavily invested. They want to utilize blockchain technology as a payment flow database, as a layer to ensure that everything goes the correct way and is completely compliant in the future, utilizing the technology, right? For me, the difficulty behind is just one, too many times they try to adapt existing processes and just utilizing the blockchain technology, right? That things like KYC, transaction monitoring, anti-money laundering. So they utilize the same processes we always knew, just put as a database layer underneath the blockchain. We say, okay, we tick this, and this off. Doesn't make sense, obviously. It's a little bit like if you ever drove a Tesla, you don't even need to start a key anymore. You don't need to press a button to start a car. You just put the gear lever in, because they thought around the corners, what can we cut off? How can we make the car more 2020-ish if you don't have a start engine, right? Mm-hmm. But if you go, for example, in a new EQSS class from Mercedes-Benz, there's still the start button, right? So they don't go that far, and means they still take the analog processes and put them on top, right? So that's a little bit the dilemma we're seeing here, right?
Right. Now, how about, and you just mentioned it right now, money laundering. I'm just thinking the average person who's still trying to put their arms around blockchain and what it means, and little by little, you start to learn and look at the possibilities. But because the blockchain in of itself is transparent, it's decentralized, it's all out there for everybody to see. Do you believe that technology is going to cut back or expose money laundering?
Well, I think the current system is already so thick and rich on compliance checks. There might be not much difference. What it for sure is, it makes it much easier. And anti-money laundering doesn't happen the moment money is in any account. It happens before normally, right?
Right.
So I know that the numbers we had at Deutsche Bank, they're in a tremendous number. I can't mention it here, but it was a really high number of attempts every single day. So this still happens, and they will happen in the future too somehow, right? Are you more transparent? Of course, you're more transparent, but you all know, you can open right now at least, your crypto wallet with any kind of name behind. It's like a numbered account. So I doubt it gets better. I think it's just a different technology, and there will be always a room for a crime as long as it's not regulated, right? And I think that's what we're all hoping for and asking for, that this technology gets also different acceptance, because it has little bit the bad taste of the cryptocurrency. You use it for non-viable services or products, right? So, and I think that could be easily taken off and lifted off, because 99% of blockchain operations are for sure legal and clean, and the money is clean behind. And if it would be regulated, those people doesn't have to fear anything about it. And the 1%, I mean, we're all happy when they're gone, right?
Yeah, and the same thing goes, with cybersecurity. We had conversations last year about that, and the fact that will never disappear 100%, but because of the blockchain, it is going to minimize it drastically. That is the belief right now, because the hackers are also always seem to be one step ahead. So it's one of those realities of the world there. How do you see, and this is for the person that's watching right now and listening, the average person who is just like hearing about blockchain, What do you see as the opportunities for the regular average person in terms of the whole digital banking, fintech environment that's building rapidly?
Well, it's really a trusted and a trusted and holistic overview about your financial transactions, right? You see exactly where the money comes from, where it goes to. You see all the steps which are involved. If you make payments and eBay, whatever, it might be completely transparent then what the move is. You don't have to fear about anything anymore, right? It's so I think that's a huge benefit. It's always a benefit, which in sense of comfort of your daily living. Thinking about that you don't have to for a deed process when you buy a property, you can probably do this in the future on a blockchain. Might be not a finance process, but might be blockchain operated process in the future, which just makes life so much easier. You don't have to go to 3 different levels until you own a house. You just to go to your whatever property realtor, buy your house there, make the payments there directly, release the deed there. Everything happens on the blockchain in an instant of a second. So everyone is in the same loop and no hassle around with 3 different places to go to, right? So I mean, there will be many more of those little things which makes life just much more convenient and also trustworthy.
Absolutely. We have a couple of minutes left, and I know recently, the last few months, there was a big announcement, a strategic partnership between Crowdpoint and Mbank. Can you share a little bit about how exciting that is and what that means to all of us?
Well, it's quite exciting because Crowdpoint is one of our customers. They're banking with us. They have a bank built with Embank. So Embank offers banking as a service, as we know, and so we operate banks for our customers. And Crowdpoint is one of our clients here. And obviously, what they do is quite phenomenal because I mean, now we talk about not about the banking process. We talk about what happens with digital assets, right? Digital securities, and to a short explanation, old days you took a company at a certain level. When they want to evolve to the next level and get a capital rise, they went to the stock exchange and make an IPO. Nowadays you can do it much more simple, right? You go to companies like Crowdpoint, you tokenize your asset, you build a token, and the token is nothing else than a share. In old days, you have shares, you have no tokens, and you can trade those tokens. You can bring them on the market and raise your capital, right? So it's very easy accessible now that you can participate in one of those token risings, be part of a company, maybe even on a smaller scale, which is the fastest growth being possible. You know, if a company is 3-4 years old and want to raise capital for the next stage, they might not be able to make an IPO, but they can now raise capital with Crowdpoint by using a token, right? So, so they really do cool things to, let's say, bring the stock exchange and trade market and also the ability for capital rising, which is the key of all evolution, right? They can bring this now to the consumer, but also to smaller companies and mid-sized companies on a global scale. I mean, there was nothing like this before on the market, and I think this technology is just mind-breaking. And I've seen these processes. I'm part of a couple of them myself, and they really related what's going on there. It's really mind-blowing how you see how this market change of trading and the capital rise and investing and all of this together, right?
For the benefit of the viewers and listeners, I believe your website is at mbank.com. Is that correct?
Mbank.com, but the bank is with a Q at the end, not a K. Very important. Mbank.com. And yes, we are a Silicon Valley-based company. We have offices all across Europe. We are also in Asia, in Cambodia, Singapore. So we all over the globe, and we run banks from Australia, Tonga, Mid East, Dubai. We have a couple of them in Europe. We have many banks in South America, Caribbean, and the most of it obviously down in the US, where our key business is, where we open really on a weekly basis new banks somewhere.
Lars, this has been fantastic. It's totally fascinating to me, and I know for all of our viewers and listeners. Thank you. I know you like all of the distinguished guests that we brought on this show and will continue to bring on are very busy, have tight schedules, but very gracious for you to take the time to be with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Pete, for being here. Interesting questions, and I wish you all the best for your ongoing video blog. Love to listen to it, and I think it's very encouraging for people looking into the blockchain technology. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, my friend. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Talk to you very soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye, Pete. Thank you.
A big thank you to Lars Rottweiler for sharing some fascinating, very important information for all of our benefit, of course, your benefit as well. Again, this is the continuing series Blockchain Talk that we do every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to thank, of course, our sponsor, Crowdpoint Technologies, and as you just heard right now, Embank and Crowdpoint have a global partnership, and very exciting things are on the way for all of us. Follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm going to ask you if you got a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pete Delatorre. And again, this is for you. We're in this journey together. Blockchain is not just the future, it's happening right before our very eyes. So thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Have a phenomenal week, and God bless.